Have you ever come across a person who did not feel like a stranger but felt completely familiar to you? It is as if your inner soul recognized them long before your logical mind could find a way to explain why. You did not plan for this to happen. You did not go out and chase after it. It simply took place on its own. And even when life tried its best to pull the two of you apart through distance, bad timing, simple misunderstandings, or personal ego, something kept pulling you back to that same exact person over and over again. Psychology might label this as a mere coincidence. However, a deep connection has certain patterns that psychology simply cannot ignore. This is because when two people are truly intended to be in each other's lives, certain things always happen. These things do not happen perfectly, and they do not happen magically, but they do happen inevitably. This is not because love is always easy, but because the bond between you refuses to simply disappear. Tonight, I want to show you that there are 7 specific things that always appear when two people are meant for each other, even if they do not end up staying together right away. And once you hear the very first one, you will understand exactly why some connections never really reach an end. Let us begin. You meet at a specific time that forces you to change. People who are meant to be together rarely meet when life is calm and steady. Instead, they usually meet during times of big transition. One of you is currently healing from the past. One of you is in the middle of becoming someone new. One of you is questioning every single thing you thought you knew about what love is. And that specific timing is not an accident at all. Psychology tells us that the deepest emotional bonds form when two people enter each other's lives during moments of identity shift. You are no longer the person you used to be, but you are not yet fully the person you were becoming either. And right then, they appeared. They did not just enter your life, they interrupted it. They made you think in a different way, feel things more deeply, question your old habits, and see yourself much more clearly. Even if the relationship itself did not last forever, the impact it had on you certainly did. You grew as a person because of them. You healed your heart because of them, or you finally realized exactly what you deserve in life because of them. That is how you know the meeting truly mattered. People who are not meant to be in your life will pass through it very quietly. But people who are meant to be arrive during the middle of storms, and they leave you changed forever. No matter how far you might drift apart, you always find your way back. When two people are meant to be together, distance does not erase the bond. It only serves to test it. You might stop talking to each other for a while. Life may pull you in completely opposite directions. A lot of time may pass, including months or even many years, yet somehow the connection refuses to vanish. You think you have moved on for good. You convince yourself that you are completely done. You build a brand new routine, a new life, and maybe even a new relationship with someone else. And then something happens. A song plays, a memory flashes, or a moment of silence occurs, and suddenly they are right back in your thoughts, as if time never touched the connection at all. Psychology explains this through the idea of emotional imprinting. When a person leaves a deep mark on your nervous system, that mark does not fade away just because they are absent. It is not an obsession, it is a form of recognition. You do not think of them every single second, but when you do, it feels much deeper than just simple nostalgia. And eventually, your paths cross once again. Maybe it happens through a message, a strange coincidence, a mutual friend, or a moment that neither of you planned. This does not happen because you were chasing them, but because something unresolved was still pulling you toward each other. People who are not meant to be will fade away with time. People who are meant to be return not because they are lonely, but because the connection was never actually finished. Being with them feels like a form of emotional rest. When two people are meant to be, love does not feel like a chaotic mess. It feels calm. It is not boring and it is not dull, but it is steady, like exhaling your breath after holding it in for way too long. Even when you are sitting in silence, there is a sense of comfort. You do not feel the need to perform, to try and impress them, or to protect yourself from being hurt. You can sit with them and feel more like your true self than you do anywhere else. Psychology calls this emotional attunement. When two nervous systems naturally help to regulate each other, you feel much safer around that person. Your thoughts start to slow down, your body relaxes, your guard lowers, and this is how you know the connection is real. This is because intensity can often come from past trauma, but true peace comes from actual compatibility, even during a conflict. You do not feel afraid of losing them. You feel understood even in the moments when you disagree. They do not drain your energy. They do not leave you feeling confused. They do not make you feel small or unimportant. They feel like home to you. And here is the quiet truth. People who are not meant to be will leave you feeling anxious. People who are meant to be will leave you feeling much calmer than you were before. That kind of peace is not something that is learned. It is something that is recognized. You trigger growth in each other instead of triggering fear. When two people are meant to be together, they do not just keep each other comfortable, they keep each other honest. They do not do this in a harsh way, but in a way that gently exposes the parts of you that still need healing. Being with them challenges you, not because they are criticizing you, but because their presence makes your old habits impossible to ignore anymore. You start noticing things about yourself, such as how you communicate, how you avoid problems, and how you show love. Instead of feeling like you are being attacked, you feel like you are being invited to grow. Psychology explains this as a form of secure mirroring. When someone reflects your behavior back to you without shaming you for it, you do not feel smaller around them. Instead, you feel braver. They encourage your evolution as a person. They do not fear your growth, they celebrate it. And you do the exact same thing for them. Yes, it can feel uncomfortable at times. Growth is always a bit uncomfortable, but it never feels unsafe because relationships based on fear make you want to hide. Connections that are meant to be make you want to expand. You become better when you are together. You are not perfect, but you become more aware, more grounded, and more emotionally mature. And that kind of mutual growth does not happen by accident. Your core values align even when your individual personalities do not. When two people are meant to be, they do not always match in obvious ways on the surface. You might be different in your daily habits, your energy levels, or the way you communicate. But underneath all of those surface things, something much deeper aligns perfectly: your values. This is about how you view loyalty, how you treat other people when no one else is watching, how you handle your pain, your honesty, and your responsibility. It is about how you love when things get difficult. Psychology tells us that long-term emotional compatibility is built on shared core values, not just shared hobbies. You may argue about the small things in life. You may approach life in different ways, but when it truly matters, you both stand on the same moral ground. You both believe in putting in the effort. You both believe in growth. You both believe that love is something you protect, not something you gamble with. That is why even during a conflict, there is still respect. Even during a long distance, there is still care. Even during a time of uncertainty, there is still trust. People who are not meant to be might agree on surface things, but they will clash at the core. People who are meant to be may clash on the surface, but they align where it counts the most. And that alignment creates a bond that can survive the biggest storms. When two people are meant to be, it does not mean life makes everything easy for them. It means life keeps reminding them of what they share together. The connection does not fade with distance. It does not disappear with time. It does not break under pressure. It evolves. Sometimes it comes to you as love. Sometimes it comes as a lesson. And sometimes it comes as timing that feels painfully wrong before it finally feels right. But one thing is always true. The bond leaves a permanent mark on you. You do not forget how safe you felt. You do not forget how deeply you were seen by them. You do not forget the version of yourself that only existed when they were around. And even if your paths separate for a while, something inside you knows that this connection was not just random. This is because a love that is meant to be does not need to shout. It stays. It shows up in your personal growth, in your emotional peace, and in values that align. It shows up even when personalities clash. And if you are watching this right now while thinking about one specific person, that is not a coincidence either. Some connections arrive to stay forever. Others arrive to change you forever. Both are very meaningful. Both are very rare. And both deserve to be understood. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and make sure to leave a comment. Thank you. The sixth thing that happens when two people are meant for each other is that you experience a strange sense of protection over one another that goes beyond basic care. This is not about being possessive or controlling, but rather a deep-seated instinct to guard the other person's peace of mind. Psychology often links this to a high level of empathy, where you can actually feel the other person's stress before they even speak a word. When two people are meant to be, you become a safe harbor for each other against the rest of the world. Even if you are currently apart or not speaking, you still find yourself wishing for their safety and hoping that life is being kind to them. You don't want to see them fail, and you don't feel a sense of satisfaction when they struggle, even if they hurt you. This is because the bond is built on a foundation of genuine goodwill that exists outside of your romantic feelings. It is a rare type of selfless support where their happiness feels just as important as your own. You realize that you would rather see them happy with someone else than miserable with you. This level of maturity is a clear sign that the connection is deeper than just a temporary crush. It shows that your souls are linked in a way that prioritizes the well-being of the other person above everything else. The seventh and final thing that shows two people are meant to be is a shared sense of purpose that seems to pull you both in the same direction. Even if you have different jobs or different lives, your goals for what kind of impact you want to have on the world usually match up. You find that when you are together, or even when you are just thinking about each other, you feel more motivated to pursue your dreams. Instead of the relationship being a distraction that holds you back, it acts as a fuel that pushes you forward. Psychology calls this the Michelangelo phenomenon, which is the idea that a close partner helps sculpt you into the best version of yourself. When two people are truly meant to be, they help reveal the hidden potential in one another. You don't just love who they are right now, you love who they are capable of becoming. You see the greatness in them even when they are having a hard time seeing it in themselves. This shared vision for the future creates a sense of meaning